Welcome to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yale Keown, mum, FIFO wife, MBA, coffee lover, survivor superfan, and creator of the email experience. In Easy Email Marketing, you'll benefit from my nearly 20 years experience, where I'll be teaching you all the tips, tricks, and insider info on how to create feel-good, non-spammy experiences for your subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yale Keown, and today's episode is a fun one because who doesn't love a cool, sneaky hack or 7? So if you are in business, you know that understanding your target market is crucial to your success. After all, you need to deliver what your audience wants to have them buy from you. And it's something that is drilled into us constantly. But so many of the target market trainings out there focus on things like building customer avatars and like completing these epic worksheets, doing deep dives into, what do they do on the weekend and what type of coffee do they drink, what TV shows do they watch, or it goes full tilt into surveys or interviews or some other really intensive research processes. And while there's absolutely nothing wrong with either of those approaches, I prefer something a little bit more time-saving. I prefer something that leverages what I have and something based on real data and information from my specific audience, not just something that is out there and very general. And as I said, something that I can do without committing hours upon hours of my time. Because I don't know about you, but I've done many surveys or target market research over time. And while I do get really good data out of it, I find, I don't leverage it as much as I should. I don't spend the time afterwards really nutting down what the answers were and how it should impact my business. It's kind of like a nice to know thing. So I prefer something that's a bit more either ongoing or, as I said, automated, that I can just look at when I'm in the frame of mind of content planning, etc. It could be my own detriment, but it is just how my brain works. And no surprises for anyone listening that my secret is using email marketing. So target market insights is one of the unspoken superpowers of email marketing. And there are a ton of ways that you can do it that you probably haven't even thought of, and without your audience even knowing what you were doing. So I call it sneaky target market research. And so in this episode, I'm sharing 7 ways that you can do it. And I'll talk a little bit at the end about the how in terms of the tech side of things. Okay. So let's get stuck into the 7 ways you can do sneaky target market research using email marketing. The first one is to, of course, look at your opens, clicks, and sales reports. So looking at your automations, looking at all your campaigns, doing a big export if you can, and seeing what are the top 10 emails that got by opens, what are the top 10 emails by clicks, and what are the top 10 emails by sales. What topics were you talking about? What were they clicking? What are they interested in? That can provide fantastic insight into what sort of content you can continue to provide, and also what types of emails people respond to, whether it's story-based, whether it's straight talking, whether it's long emails or short emails, if it's ones with multiple articles or single articles. So great information, not only to help you craft better emails and write better content, but also that you can apply to other areas of your business as well. Because if you see that people are clicking around certain topics or buying certain things, you can go, maybe I need to produce more offers around that. Or maybe I need to create some more social media content around that. And it can influence your whole sales pipeline. Hack number 2, sneaky way number 2, is a third question at sign up. I've mentioned this one before and I'll keep on mentioning it because it is so powerful, even if you do nothing with the information straight away. So on most of my sign up forms, I love to add a third question. So the first question is typically first name because we love to have their name. Second one, of course, is the email address, which you need. And the third one is not last name, not what's your birthday? Or you could do that one if you wanted. It is something that helps you categorize your subscribers. So typically, this will fall into 3 camps. The first one would be stage. So this could be like, are they beginner, intermediate, or advanced? Now you can use your own terminology. You can use words that make sense to your audience, and they would choose which one applies to them. Similar to stage is age. So I categorize these together. So if you provide content or offers around different age groups, either age groups of kids or age groups of grown-ups, you can go ahead and put that as, okay, what's the relevant level for you? The second type is category. So this is if you have really distinct categories of clients or customers. So for me, I have really distinct categories when it comes to e-commerce versus services versus digital offerings. And typically I find people fall into those camps. And then finally, the third category is the third type question you can ask is interest. So this would be, are you interested in, and give them 3 or 4 choices. So these can either be drop downs or multi-select or date-based fields, but I totally recommend having this at sign up so you get the data. And it is so interesting to find out exactly who comes from where. Like, for example, I would have thought maybe I get people, really dominant audience from one of those 3 categories, but literally it comes out like 33%, like across the board. Like it pretty much averages at about a third of my audience fits into each category, which is really, really interesting. But it also means that I can, tailor messages down the line to specific groups. It means I can tailor automations based around category, or it just gives me that insight to know what stage, where they're at. Another example is previously I had, what stage of email marketing are you at? And when I was asking that question, I was getting like 80% of people saying, I'm right at the beginning. So after a period of time, I'm like, okay, I don't feel like I need to ask that question anymore because I'm learning this. And I know that, okay, I need to tailor my content down to, those people, that they're just starting out, especially when they first join my list. Obviously, once you've been in my world a while, you might, that will change. Sneaky way, number 3 is to ask questions in your emails and including in your automations. Put some of these in like your welcome sequence, for example. So this is like asking specific questions, like when it comes to blank, so your topic area, what is your biggest challenge or frustration right now? Or if I could wave a magic wand over your blank, what would you have me do? So this is about getting replies and starting some conversations. And while obviously your audience might think, okay, they're asking me some sort of market research questions, so it's not quite as sneaky. They do know you're asking them, but it is in that you are the way you're collating the information, because it's not a formal survey. It's not like a, hey, I'm doing this for formal market research purposes. It is just to get to know your audience, and has a added bonus of it can start a conversation with your subscribers. I find it works really well, when people reply to these things and I send them something that says, this would really help, whether it's podcast episodes, whether it's a freebie I have, or sometimes, just, one worksheet I had from something that I think would be really helpful, and it starts this conversation and just builds, that trust. So that's number 3, asking questions. Number 4 is similar to this, but it's asking polls. So this is where you would send an email where they can vote on an answer. And typically you would basically put a hyperlink for each possible answer. So you just say, click the one which you think resonates most to you. So you can use this tactic for asking that same question that you ask at sign up. So you can use this tactic to capture this information around your current subscribers, or you can ask polls around, like, if I were to create, what are you most interested in? Or I'm thinking of creating my next product. Are you interested in this, or this? Or what colors do you like most? Any of those things, put in a poll and have them click a link for different answers. And you can either, add tags or review click reports afterwards. The link you use here can totally just be like a blog post link if you want. It doesn't have to be anything really tied to, it doesn't have to be specific to the answer every single time. But more on that in the tools section. Number 5 is to tag or update a custom field based around clicks in general. So rather than just having someone click through to a blog post or to a product, we can also, on the back end, tag them as interested in something. So you could tag them as, okay, they're interested in this topic area or they're interested in this product. Or you can say, based on this, I can tell they fit this category. So if I've linked to an e-commerce podcast episode, I can tell if I just simply take that extra 2 seconds to add a tag to the anyone who clicks on a link that's about e-commerce, I can say, okay, well, it's logical that they fit the e-commerce category. And again, the same thing with Stage. So you can do it based around that same information, but do it much more sneaky. Like, you don't have to say, which are you? You can literally just go off what they've been interested in. Number 6 is something that is pretty much just in ActiveCampaign and is more a sales thing, but I think it's really, really cool. And if you happen to be using ActiveCampaign, as something I recommend you play with, and that is lead scoring. So basically, this is where you can identify your hottest leads and your most interested subscribers based around the actions they take. So you can set up your scoring system however you want, but typically you would give points to subscribers based around actions they take. So you can give them points around, opening emails, clicking emails. You can do it around visiting your website or how many times they visited your website. You could do it around, did they sign up for particular things? Are they in certain lists? Did they sign up for, like a webinar or a masterclass? Are they engaging with your content? You could assign more points to things like clicking links to watch videos or to listen to podcast episodes over, just a general link click. So what you can do there is obviously over a period of time, you will see who is your highest scoring subscribers are. And then you can send alerts to yourself, or you can just, once a month, once every 3 months, look through that list and kind of ask yourself questions like, what's the common ground? What type of businesses do they have? What stage are they at? Have they purchased already? And then you can do some proactive sales, or you can just take this as information that's saying, okay, these are the people that are most interested in what I have to offer. And then number 7 is site tracking. So this is available with ActiveCampaign, with Klaviyo, and I think a couple of others. But basically, this is where you cookie your website. So when someone clicks a link in one of your emails, it adds a cookie. And so until someone clears their cookies, it will actually track what that subscriber is doing on your website. So what pages they're looking at, etc. So this can go into that lead scoring thing, but it can also just influence, you can provide insights into, okay, which of the subscribers are clicking through to sales pages or products, or what type of people are clicking through to blog content on this topic, and who is clicking on ones to do with this. So you can see we're getting a ton of data from just people natively interacting with your emails. And bonus points is by adding in some of these little elements and just adding in like extra opportunities for them to click or to answer questions. It increases your engagement, it increases your deliverability, it increases your reputation. So this is a win-win-win situation. So a ton of different ways that you can learn more about your audience for your sneaky target market research. So quick recap on that is you can have a look at your opens, clicks, and sales reports. You can ask a third question at sign up. You can ask questions in your emails, like open-ended ones. You can ask polls. You can add tags or update custom fields based on just clicks in general. You can add some lead scoring, and also you can add some site tracking to identify who has visited what pages. So what do we do with this information? How do we manage all of this, and how does it even work? So the first thing I recommend is just to create an old-fashioned spreadsheet that you use for a lot of this, and have a page which is where you copy and paste answers to when you ask questions. And so you add, the copy and paste their exact words. And then if you might want to categorize as well. So you can see what are some common themes coming through from that, and just have that in a big spreadsheet. And that's so helpful for creating content. So that's helpful there. And then also I just add tabs for some of this other information so I can track, basic things like how many people fit in what category, etc. In terms of the on-click actions, they are available with ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit. So when I'm talking about on-click actions, that means within the email itself, you can say when someone clicks this particular link, add a tag, and it just applies just to that email itself. So they're available natively with ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit. If you need to update a custom field based on those tags, I normally create an automation which says when this tag is added, update the custom field to say it is e-commerce, for example. If you're not with one of those with ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit, you can create automations for specific URLs. So if it's something you are asking all the time or something you really want to know about, so if you're focused on that category or you're focused on interest, my recommendation is to go ahead and create a custom page, like a dedicated page on your website for that purpose. And literally the page is just like category / and then the answer. And it doesn't appear in your menu anywhere. And the page just says, thanks so much for answering. And if you can go all out if you want and add some resources and stuff for it, but you can just say, thanks so much for answering, thumbs up. That's all it needs to be. But now you have that URL, you can use that to trigger an automation. So you could say anytime someone clicks a link where the link is for this, then update a field, or then add a tag, or add them to a segment or a list, or whatever action it is you want them to take. So if it's something that's you're always asking, create a dedicated one for that. Or if it's just like a once-off poll that you're running, I would just direct them to a blog post or a podcast episode related to their answer, or a product category even related to the answer. And then I would just review the click report afterwards and just say, okay, how many people clicked on what, who clicked on what. And then I might just do a mass update of anyone who clicked this link, just quickly update this custom field. MailerLite, I will flag this as well. Can do it that way, but also they have a fantastic survey content block that I wish other people would adopt. And the way you can use that is you can just actually embed the question in the email. I recommend going straight to the question and just ask one. Like you can have a survey of 10 questions in the email if you wanted to for MailerLite, but I just love asking the one question. They can vote. There's a whole pile of different types of questions that you can include. And then on the back end of that, you can specify what MailerLite needs to do based around their answer. So if they answered one particular answer, you can say update this custom field or add them to a group, and you can say how it all works. So there's a few different things that you could be doing on the back end to make this happen. But the important thing is for you to identify a couple of key metrics you want to know. So over time, it's typically going to be that category or that interest or that stage that is really the main one that you want to constantly be learning about. So that one's an ongoing one where once you've set up the processes for this once, you can continue to use it in future. Other ones could be things that are in real time. So again, those polls, etc. It could be you want to find answers pretty immediately, so you're going to look at it. And other ones like those questions, a little bit of real time, but also that's something you'll be coming back to time and time again. So this is something that you never stop doing, but a lot of it is automated. And then when you're doing your marketing reporting or you're doing your content planning, you just go in and you just pull out your reports, you just look at your system, you say, okay, how many people fit into this category? What are my numbers telling me? What are people looking at? What are they interested in? And it can really help you not only write better emails, create better content, get some social media stuff out there, know what type of customer is buying, so you can choose to target more content towards them. Or it could be just as simple as knowing what offers you want to create as well. So hopefully you found some insights there. Hopefully this has inspired you and gotten you excited about this alternative approach to email marketing that isn't just about from the traditional approach. and how you can learn about your audience and without doing a whole pile extra. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to hear from you about what you've enjoyed from this episode or what you want to know more about next. So let me know over on Instagram. I'm at Yale Kieran, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Email Marketing. It's an absolute honour that you chose to listen. If you love this episode, then it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review so that others can find this podcast and make their email marketing easy too. Finally, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Until next time, have an awesome day and make sure to keep showing up and serving in those inboxes.